Most people who are struggling financially know exactly why they're struggling. The rent is too high, the job doesn't pay enough, the unexpected expenses keep coming. Those are visible problems, and visible problems at least give you something to fight. But there's a different category of financial damage that's far more dangerous because you can't see it happening. It's quiet, it's consistent, and it compounds against you just as powerfully as compound interest compounds for you. Month after month, year after year, it slowly hollows out your net worth while you go about your life completely unaware. My name is Erica, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible forces that keep financially aware people stuck. If you want to understand exactly what is quietly working against your net worth right now, and more importantly, what to do about it, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it ends up helping you. Here's what makes this conversation different from the standard personal finance advice. I'm not going to tell you to stop buying coffee. I'm not going to lecture you about avocado toast. The things I'm about to walk you through are structural. They're baked into the way most Americans manage money by default. And that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. You didn't choose them intentionally. You just never chose against them. And the cost of that passive acceptance is quietly running into tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your financial life. Let's get into it. Number 1. Minimum payments on revolving debt. This one is the most expensive item on this list, and it's the one most people understand the least at a mechanical level. The average American household carries about $6,500 in credit card debt. That might not sound catastrophic, but let's look at what happens when you carry that balance and make only minimum payments at the average credit card interest rate of around 20%. If you make only the minimum payment on a $6,500 balance at 20% interest, you will spend approximately 17 years paying it off, and you will pay roughly $9,800 in interest alone on top of the original $6,500. You borrowed $6,500, you paid back over $16,000. That $9,800 in interest didn't just cost you money, it cost you what that money could have become. If you had invested $9,800 in a simple index fund over that same period at 8% returns, you would have approximately $18,000 at the end. So the true cost of that minimum payment habit isn't $9,800. It's closer to $28,000 when you account for what the money could have grown to instead. That is the real price of the minimum payment. And the truly brutal part is that most people with revolving credit card debt aren't just carrying one balance, they're carrying multiple across cards, buy now, pay later accounts, store credit lines, and personal loans, each one quietly extracting wealth through interest, while the minimum payment feels completely manageable in the moment. Number 2. Subscriptions you forgot you were paying for. The subscription economy has engineered a specific type of financial leak that is almost perfectly designed to avoid detection. Each individual subscription is small enough to feel insignificant, but they stack, and once they're set to auto-renew, they become functionally invisible on your bank statement, familiar line items your brain stops registering as decisions. The average American now pays for between 4 and 6 streaming services, a gym membership they use irregularly, software subscriptions for apps they downloaded once, cloud storage upgrades, premium versions of free tools, magazine subscriptions from a promotion 2 years ago, music services, meal kit deliveries they meant to cancel. The average American household spends between $200 and $300 per month on subscription services, according to a 2023 report. Many people who are asked to estimate their subscription spending guess $80 to $100. The actual number is 2 to 3 times higher. That gap between what you think you're spending and what you're actually spending is $1,200 to $2,400 per year flowing out of your net worth, with essentially zero conscious decision attached to it. At 8% investment returns over 20 years, $20 per month is approximately $118,000. That's not a small leak. That is a river quietly draining your future. Number 3. Carry payments on depreciating assets. The carry payment has been so thoroughly normalized in American consumer culture that most people never stop to question whether it's a reasonable financial structure. It isn't. Here's why. When you finance a car, you are borrowing money at interest to purchase an asset that loses value every single month. The average new car loses roughly 20% of its value in the first year. By year 5, it has lost approximately 60% of its original value. Meanwhile, you have been paying interest on the full original price the entire time. You're paying more for something that is simultaneously worth less, every month, for years. The average American car payment is currently around $725 per month for a new vehicle. That's $8,700 per year going toward an asset that is actively losing value. And most Americans roll directly from one car loan into the next, trading in a half-depreciated vehicle and rolling the remaining negative equity into a new loan, essentially ensuring they are always paying for more car than they currently own. If you drove a reliable, paid-off used car and invested that $725 per month into an index fund for 10 years, you would have approximately $132,000 at 8% returns, not from a raise, not from an inheritance, from a different relationship with a car. The car you finance gets you to the same places as the car you paid cash for. The difference is $132,000 over a decade. Number 4. Paying retail price on everything. This one sounds small until you run the actual numbers. Americans overpay for recurring purchases: insurance, internet service, phone plans, utilities, groceries, and financial products, simply because they accepted the initial price and never revisited it. Insurance is the most significant example. The average American overpays for auto insurance by $400 to $800 per year, simply by not shopping their policy annually. Home insurance overpayment averages another $300 to $500 per year. These aren't fixed prices, they are negotiable, they are shoppable, and insurance companies actively rely on customer inertia, the tendency to renew automatically without comparing rates, to maintain profit margins. Studies consistently show that Americans who shop their insurance annually save between $700 and $1,300 per year combined, across auto and home. That's $1,000 per year minimum in recovered money that requires about 2 hours of work annually. Invested at 8% over 20 years, $1,000 per year becomes approximately $49,000. That is the cost of inertia. Number 5. The inflation tax on idle cash. This is the quietest drain of all because it requires no action on your part. It happens automatically to anyone who keeps significant cash sitting in a traditional savings account or checking account, earning little to nothing in interest. Inflation in the United States has averaged roughly 3% per year over long periods. When your money sits in a traditional savings account earning 0.5% interest and inflation is running at 3%, your money is losing purchasing power at approximately 2.5% per year. On $20,000 in idle savings, that's $500 in purchasing power quietly evaporating. On $50,000, it's $1,250. On $100,000, it's $2,500. Gone. Not because you spent it, not because you invested it badly, simply because you left it somewhere that couldn't keep up with the erosion of its own value. This isn't an argument against having savings. Emergency funds are essential. The first $20,000 to $30,000 of liquid savings serves a critical psychological and practical function. But money beyond that emergency cushion sitting in a 0.5% savings account is not being preserved. It is slowly being destroyed by the invisible tax of inflation. A high-yield savings account currently offers between 4 and 5% annually, meaningfully above inflation. Moving your idle cash from a traditional savings account to a high-yield option requires about 20 minutes of setup and costs nothing. The cost of not doing it on $50,000 over 10 years is approximately $15,000 in lost purchasing power and foregone returns. Here's what all 5 of these have in common. None of them feel like a catastrophic financial mistake in the moment. The minimum payment feels responsible, the subscriptions feel like small luxuries, the car payment feels normal, the insurance renewal feels automatic, the savings account feels safe. That's exactly how they do their damage, not through dramatic single events, but through quiet, consistent monthly extraction that compounds against you over years and decades. The antidote is a financial audit. Once a year, not once a decade, once a year, you sit down and you look at every recurring charge leaving your accounts, Every debt payment and its interest rate, every subscription, every insurance policy, every account where money is sitting idle. You ask whether each one is intentional, whether it's optimized, whether it's earning its place in your financial life. Most people who do this for the first time find between $300 and $600 per month in recoverable leakage, money they were spending without deciding to spend it.